Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. Welcome on in. I feel like my mic has gotten quieter. I like cranked up the volume on it a while back, and when I look at it on OBS, I feel like it's not hitting as high. Hold on. Let me check and see if my Windows settings are the same. I feel like it just does that sometimes. System sound. Sound. Yeah, why is it set? Okay, hold on. I'm turning it up. I'm turning it up. I'm turning it up. A, B, C, D. Okay, so I turned it up natively and it should be a little louder, but like, why did it turn down? Because I didn't change anything in OBS. Windows Update. It shouldn't just reset my mic volume to not... The thing is, it should be 100. And it was just at like 65. Interesting. Okay, well, we'll just leave it. We'll just leave it at 100. And if it like... If my mic ever sounds like really quiet, just let me know. Because, yeah. Weird we get music in nod VODs? What does that mean? Are you a clip watcher? Clip watcher slash VOD watcher on YouTube? Yeah, you have to separate things out. VOD and jar, okay, yeah. Yeah, because like if I leave the DMCA music in, then my YouTube channel would die every day. They would smite me down. I always have music on. And I'm gonna be honest, I actually like have a hard time watching my own shit. We don't care about him. It's all about my wife, dude. It's about my wife. But I can't like listen to my own clips and my own VODs sometimes because it feels so empty without the music. That's just me. I can't listen to my own chatting segments. Partially it's the uncanny valley thing of like when you hear yourself, you know, but also more so it's like not the stream experience I think it is because the music isn't there, you know? So I'm like, what is this? You know? And I just can't do it. I just can't do it. Sorry, I'm like dying. I'm dying today. Do you have a physical deck? Because my cat loves turning the knobs. I don't have knobs. I have faders, sliders. That's what I got. That's what I got. I love the just chatting in the beginning of each stream. Yeah, when I first started streaming, I only gamed. I didn't sit and just chatting. And then later on, you know, I started chatting a little beforehand just cuz like I was just like giving updates on stuff and then it turned into just talking. And I just kept it cuz people seem to like it. And I feel like you know, I was playing a lot of games where it had some sort of story. And I felt bad because, you know, you don't get all of your viewers that want to watch things showing up in the first like hour even. I think you see a lot of people show up in the first 30 minutes, but there's this like trickle in until an hour, hour and a half. So I'd feel bad if I was like continuing game with story and then a lot of the regulars just weren't even there. You know? Kind of felt bad. So I felt like the just chatting was a really nice buffer to make sure that like they know you're live because Twitch doesn't even push out your live notice to everyone. It always fucks that up. Um, people don't notice pings instantly, etc., etc. So yeah, I would just like go and leave a little buffer there at the beginning because None of that works. Literally nothing works reliably all the time for everyone. You know? I like just starting, but I hate starting soon. Me too. I hate them. Grr. Honestly, I don't need to have I sit here for 10, 15 minutes not saying anything at first, just to let people roll in, and then I start talking. And like if you see the screen, I'm probably talking for most of it. But it's really not necessary as long as you hold, if you have anything important to say, you just hold that. Don't say that instantly, because if you go live and start talking and there's 100 people there, and then 15 minutes now there's 500, you know, anything you said in the first minute was missed by like most of those people, you know? So I like to wait and then talk. I just have a habit for me where like it's just my routine. I hit go live and I get up because I work and I'm sitting before I start stream. I'm working at my computer. So I hit go live and then I stretch. I go to my kitchen, I refill my water. I grab some sort of snack or something that I'll go leave on my desk to eat like later. You know what I mean? Like I just have like a couple things that I do, and that's what I'm always doing when this is like rolling and I'm letting people roll in. And I could do it before I hit start. But in my mind, it's like, well, if my stream starts time isn't exactly stream start time, to me, it's like work start time, right? So I might as well let it roll while I'm doing that stuff instead of doing that stuff and then hitting start and then people start slowly rolling in. You know what I mean? In my mind, it's like me being more efficient. It might not seem that way from your perspective, but from my perspective, it's actually the way it is for me. You know what I mean? Meet you collab later. Yeah, we have there's a sponsor that came through, and so they wanted us to play the game in groups, and you know, the group that was kind of put together had Michi and me in it and May, and I was like, this is good, but our times are very different. So she was like, can you do this time? And it was like 11 a.m. today, and I was like, oh god, I don't start stream till like often 3. I've been trying to start more at 2. And I was like, I mean, I could. And I was like, we either do that, and like I was like, I'll start early for you, or we do it later at night, which I know she's often streaming during my nighttime. So I was like, you know, anytime after X time, you know, I know you're awake, could also do. So we're gonna do it like 9 p.m. which is 6.5 hours from now. But yeah, that's the plan. But I was then she was like, oh, it's gonna be real early for me, and I was like, don't you normally stream around then? Like I was like, I couldn't remember. I just know that like I finish my stream, I go do some stuff, I like eat and stuff, and then when I come back, she's usually live. So I was like, I actually don't know her exact start time. But yeah, we're gonna do it later. I did tell her like either way, I was like, I'll either start early for you or I'll go late. Like I'm cool with either, and you tell me what you want. Usually starts around 11 p.m. or midnight. Really? That late? Okay. She got into Pragmata and didn't go to bed until 90 minutes ago. No, I feel like I'm going to be dragging her out of bed. No. Why'd she do an extra long stream? All right, I hope she caffeinates, man. Hope she caffeinates. Glad she's playing it, though. I really liked it. I want to wait some time and then at some point go back and just like new game plus it. The game was really good. Really, really, really good. Why would you do this to her? Oh, how could I? Ah, so evil. 12 to 15 is normal for her, actually. Yeah, so, okay, if you take out the fact that you just like streaming, let's pretend you hate streaming. And you have to do it because you're forced to because it's your job or something. You get crazy diminishing returns for streaming more than like 5 hours, more than 4 even. So like they always recommend that you don't stream that long. But a lot of us just like streaming, so we just kind of go longer. like I do frequent like 8-9 hour streams, you know. But really that's wild. Yeah, no, it's the truth. It's the truth. Because when people sit down to watch a TV show and they're like binging a little bit, they're watching a couple episodes in a row, whatever. It's a 3 to 5 hour thing for most of them. And then often less, often less. Um, and then the big thing is that the average person, individual, watches a stream, just a live stream on Twitch, for 30 minutes to an hour maximum. So when you see your average viewers, it's not like there's a shit ton of people staying the whole time. It's a revolving door of a lot of them coming in and out. Or they don't actually leave, they come in and watch, and then they lurk. And they're not really actively watching, right? So what happens is they come in and they do their resubs and they do their active watching, and then they fall into passive watching, and then they fall into not even really watching at all. So like they kind of recommend that sweet spot of like when they're kind of like done with the passive watching and they're probably just actually dropping off point. They're like, you should probably end stream by then because you're streaming to the void. People have already, resubbed. If you care about the monetary value, you're not getting new money except for like the occasional ad play, which, let's be real, if you're not over like 10K viewers, the ad revenue is really not that much compared to everything else, like it's not that crazy significant. So that's the recommendation. A lot of us, again, just stream long anyway because we just like it. But when it comes to like money and keeping like a community satisfied, whatever, like you kind of roll that all together, they always recommend like 4-hour streams, unironically, because everyone gets like the majority of what they're looking for in that kind of span of time. Even the longer watchers, the people who do stay longer, a lot of them are like 3 to 4 hours, and then they're in the I'm no longer even watching kind of phase. So it's just interesting. I still like doing like 5-6 hours, usually 6.5 hours is like I start looking at the timestamp, I start thinking about, do I want to continue or not kind of thing. Because I don't know, 4 just feels like not much to me. And I chat first and then game, So I'm just like, oh, okay. But yeah, for me, a lot of it too is on chat activity. If like chat is still kind of really going, then I'm like, okay, they're watching and they're very actively enjoying what's going on. I don't really see a reason that I need to end right now, But if people look like they're napping, and like chat has died and I've been going for a long time, yeah, I should end. It's like, I've already done my part here. So I don't really go off of like a specific number each day. I just kind of like check how people are doing. If they're vibing, they're vibing. If there's not a lot of people vibing in the chat, like I don't care about the viewer number. It's how many people are like chatting, There's not a lot of people feeling super active about it, then I'm just like, yeah, we'll be back tomorrow, That's just how it goes, dude. Mind if a heartbroken Destiny player hangs out here? You can, but be warned that I really like Marathon. I'm a Marathon enjoyer. I also liked the game Destiny. Now, if you're talking about the streamer, rip bozo. But I'm just going to talk about the video game. Can I believe they slimed Destiny 2 out of nowhere? I think they were like... I think they wanted to roll off of it for a while. Because they wanted to do something new. Because the game had been going for so long. It had so much content for so long. I'm pretty sure, like, a lot of people could feel it. And I was personally, like, I had played Destiny 2. I was sitting there being like, brother, can we just get a new game already? Because I like the games Bungie makes. You know, I just like, can we get a new one? No, it's not getting shut down. It's just like there's nothing new, so no one has a reason to log on. But yeah, the game was going for like a decade, man. It was going really strong. A terrible model with the DLC and all that. It was a lot for me, which is why I didn't keep up with every bit of it. It was a lot of money to spend on a game, you know? Constantly. Kimmy! Thank you for the raid. But yeah, I felt like there was a part in Destiny 2 where there was like a clear rounding out of the story. And I felt like that was like good. I said, okay, I think it's going to end here. And then they kept it going for a bit, and I was like, whoa. Where are we going with this? I'm glad they made Marathon, though. I hope they expand Marathon, because they did say they want to do a pure PvP and a pure PvE play style game mode. They're thinking about both, maybe just one. I hope they do a solid PvE only thing that's just full adjusted for people, because I think if it were PvE only, they'd have a lot of players. A lot of players that would like it. I love PvP in that game, personally. But it's not for everyone. And I think it'd be cool if they just kind of do both, because the culture is very PvP heavy, too. So if you're, like, going into a PvE game and you're like, I want to do PvE, you're not going to get it out of that game like that. Unless you're doing the raid, the cryo raid, which you have to go through a lot of normal gameplay to get to that. You know? But yeah, I think if they just do like a co-op PvE thing, it'd be good. That's what I do for PvE Arc Raiders. They're making that. Didn't they just announce they're trying to make a PvE only mode? Because they have such a huge they have a huge number of people that like that. I think it's a little too late, though. Arc's player base started dying off. I think it's still doing well, but it's not like, you know, what it was. Which is normal for something that's, like, you know, not super new. Yeah, and they did announce that they're only doing 2 updates a year as well with Arc. They were like, the current model's not sustainable. We need to do bigger updates less frequently, which I think is good, but, you know, we'll see. I think there's a fundamental shift away from the uber competitive esports shit. Yeah, because most people don't actually want that. They just want shit they can play with their friends. But for the longest time, the shit you played with your friends was like only PvP games, esports shit. So everyone loaded up League, everyone loaded up CS, you know, things like that, because that's what there was to play with friends, really. And then friend slop started coming out, which a lot of it wasn't even slop. A lot of it was good little friend games, right? And I think people playing those things were like, oh, I don't actually want a PvP game. I just wanted to play something with my friends and be able to hop in and out of lobbies with them. So I think that shifted people's opinion there, and they'd think about going back to League after that, and they'd be like, bro, I just don't want to be sweaty. You know? Like, they just start feeling that way. And, yeah, now things are shifting where they're making more PvE versions of things, which I think is good. I think that's good. I think that's a good thing for Bungie. They did want to do Marathon PvE only. With how good the gameplay is, I think that could be great. I think that could be great. Personally, I'll still play PvP in it. But, you know. It should be next season, June, right? Season 2 should be June. It'll be really nice to see, honestly. Yeah, June 2nd, which is really close, actually, looking at it. So I'm excited for that. Worried about Bungie as a whole with their other announcement about D2 life support. It questions what they have left in the tank for their projects. What do you mean? Like money, resources, like people resources? They'll be fine, brother. Them winding down on something else means more capacity for other shit. And that's what I want to see. I just want them to be able to work on something new. That's all. Your sources from Sony. Yeah, I mean, they used that money to make Marathon. But the thing is, when you do an investment, often, like, you can't... I mean, this depends on how the investment was done and how the money was done. But they can't just be like, pay us our money back. Like, the stuff's already made. The money's already spent on employees. So their best option is going to be improve that, put a little more time into that, improve that, and get that going, which is probably why they're doing the PvE mode. And yeah, I just hope it works out. I hope it works out because I really like the game. I think it's really well made. And I think people not sticking to it was because of, unironically, forced internet hate, because people were saying weird stuff. That just, like, I don't know. I think what happened genuinely was there were like 3 communities from Arc Raider streamers. And those communities started like having fun shitting on Marathon. And then that propagated to Twitter. And it made fewer people try it. And then that was it. They just started like it was like a console war thing. Like, oh, my PS5 is so much better than your Xbox S. And like now people feel the need to choose one. Just play both, brother. Play Arc and play Marathon. Like, ooh, oh yay, 2 cakes, you know? Like, that's that. I didn't understand it, but they were just freaking out over nothing. And I was like, you don't have to be tribalistic over a game. You could just load up and play. A lot of shit's free too. You can just play it. So it's weird. Yeah, and the art drama, which I've explained to Chad a million times, but it's not nearly what people are making it seem like it was. I think sponsoring Peanut was a bad idea. His community is a bunch of kids raring for a game war, and they all bought Arc. Yeah, I mean, when companies sponsor streamers for games, a lot of the time, they're going purely off of what's their CCV, how many impressions can I get of my game, and does this person play similar genres, right? That's kind of like the main 2 questions. The CCV to understand like what kind of rate you're trying to pay them.
Next project is going to be Destiny 2 classic servers where
Ooh.
you play the game with the same update pace and buy the DLC again. Faction reduced.
Oh, I'd die. I would die. But they, you know, they care about CCV because that's how many impressions they're getting when they pay. And then they care about what other games you play regularly because they're just like, would this game resonate with this audience at all? Would they be willing to try it? Because if they're taking a puzzle-only streamer and giving them Arc Raiders, their community is going to be like, snooze, boring. Can we go back to puzzles now? You know, and like very few of those people are going to be influenced to be like, oh, maybe I will try this. You know? And that's really it. They don't tend to look too much deeper. So that is just how sponsorships happen. And yeah, if I were the one negotiating, I would probably give them a couple more notes on people and tell them a little more about if I think that community in particular makes sense for their game or not, or blah, blah, blah. But they don't always get that experience when they try to get their sponsorships out there. They just get people being like, yeah, here's my list of people. Here's their CCV. They do play shooters. You should sponsor them. And you know, I'm just going to be so real. Agencies and these companies that are in between agencies and sponsors should really try their best to be realistic with the sponsor if that community is going to be good or not. And not just be like, yeah, here's how many impressions you'll get. You know? But that's work. Oh, man. Work stinks, am I right, guys? But I hope it does well, and I'll continue playing it. I've been playing it. If they do a pure PvE mode, I will 100% drag friends into it, load it up, and play it, because I fucking love that game. Might catch more casuals next season with the PvE and PvP light modes. Yeah, I think so. I think so. I'm rooting for it, you know, that's all. I just really like the game, and I'm like a sicko for the art direction, especially. And I know, I've talked to a couple people from the team, and they they've put so much into it. They really care about this project, and it's just like a love letter in a lot of ways to a lot of things that they wanted to do but couldn't, because when you're tied to other IPs, you can't stray from your formulas too much, you know. So them being able to work on a new project was just so like refreshing for them, and I hope it works out well, man. I hope so. PvPM, I think that I'm gonna try that marathon. PvE sounds fun. Yeah, I mean, when you do the cryo raid, which is still PvPVE, it feels a lot more PvE. Like, you kind of do kill people and then go through it. Or sometimes there's like 2 groups of 3 that end up at the end that just go PvE it because it's a lot, depending on how geared they are. But it kind of plays like a Destiny raid or like an old good Halo map. And I really like that. Like, you do see the essence, the soul of those games in there when you play through. And like, it looks confusing when you first get into cryo, but it's just think of it as a donut. It's just this big map, and you just kind of go through the rooms sequentially. Even though you don't have to do it linear, it kind of feels like it can be like that, like an old PvE shooter style thing. And it feels really good to play through it like that. So I don't know. It just shows that same team is working on that stuff. And a lot of these people, they made Destiny 2 raids that people liked a lot. And that's cryo kind of felt like a Destiny raid. And I was like, okay, I see the vision here. So, yeah, I hope they just keep going with it. I hope they keep going with it. I think it's really cool. And the fact that they kept it really grungy, really gritty, kind of horror-esque, and not like a fun, colorful shooter or like a full realism shooter is so great. So great. Crowd navigating is easy. Go in a circle, maybe fight someone or go in the middle and fight everyone. That's what I'm saying. It's just a donut. You know? It's just a donut. You can just kind of do a linear approach to the outside and then at the end go in the middle. Or if you hear fighting and you're like me and you like to hold W, you just hear shooting and go, ooh, let's third party that. You know? Full cleared cryo. I did with friends, yeah. Shit's fun as fuck. Anyway, I think more games need to do a full PvE shift, have game modes. Remember how many people were so excited for the Overwatch PvE mode? They were going to do a campaign. And then they just didn't. They just dropped it. They were like, never mind, competitive's doing well. JK. You know, people were playing PvP a lot, just kind of like because they were waiting for the PvE mode. Fucked up, man. So I think like those people still feel like betrayed, and they're still out there playing shooters and waiting. You know, they're still waiting. I don't know. I was one of those people. I actually played a lot of PvP Overwatch too, or a regular Overwatch rather, and I just wanted the PvE mode so badly. They just didn't do it. I played the second game a little bit and I went, oh, it's just Overwatch. Okay. And I played a little and I just put it away because I was like, I've already done this so many times. There's the same people waiting for the next Titanfall. Yes, it's the people that go back and play Titanfall 2 over and over because they miss like good story shooters, you know. Oh man. So yeah, I'm really rooting for Marathon's PvE mode, man. No game I miss Heroes of the Storm. Oh, I used to play so much Heroes of the Storm. It was so good, and they got a couple of things so right. I think the shared EXP, instead of like money only going to one guy thing, was actually amazing for that style of game. They were doing great. They were doing great, and they just killed their own game so badly. But I loved that game. I really did. I don't know. I used to like a lot of a lot of Blizzard stuff, but they've kind of been shit in the bed here and there. Doing well with some things and poorly with others. You know, Overwatch 2, blunder. Here's the Storm, amazing, and then they just dropped the ball so heavily. Hearthstone, really amazing, and then couldn't really keep it going, although their arena mode was pretty good as a revival, but, you know. Diablo? I'm a huge Diablo enjoyer. 3 was actually kind of fun after they released a lot of the expansions later, and you played it with friends. That shit was actually good. In the beginning, though, terrible. 4, super hopeful for it. I played it. The base story felt good to play, and then once you were at endgame, that shit fell off so hard. And I'm like, oh, I hope they eventually figure out the end game, which they should be able to, because 2 was good. I still have hope that 4, you know, they're going to scrape together things a little better. But I'm just waiting until people are like, yeah, this is my shit. Yeah, I know a lot of people have said it's better. It's just going to be fire in 15 years. Yeah, exactly. And that's when I'll be booting it up. No, I think they still probably need a bit of work on it for me to open it, but we shall see. We shall see. I do wanna play it. I don't know. But the end game was just so ugh. Boring. They could just be like, what was good about 2? Let's do that. And I'd be like, yay! And I'd play the fuck out of it. I don't know, man. The gear's not interesting at all for me. Yeah, exactly. I do want to try 4 again at some point, though. Like, I always watch Twitter for any news, any announcements they put out. I watch like a hawk. Because I want it to do well so badly. Because I want to play a good Diablo game again. And a modern one. I don't want to go back and play 2 again. I don't know. So I'm giving it time. We'll see. We'll see. But all I can say right now is, say what you will about Bungie. I'm not saying that they're the greatest company ever, when they can do no wrong, whatever, but they've been doing so well with listening to their player base and adjusting things in ways that make sense and being like, oh, people want PvE, let's make a PvE mode. And they've just been so attentive. And I'm very tapped into a lot of what the community says about, you know, new changes. You see a change be complained about, the next day they're adjusting it. So right now they're the only ones I'm watching with interest, because they're the only company I see like super actively listening to their player base and changing stuff accordingly, but not 100%. They still know what's best in some ways, because like one chunk of players might be loud and vocal doesn't mean it's the best thing. I feel like they have been hitting the mark between those two in the middle. So I've just been being like, well, at least they got me. If nobody else got me, they got me. And I'm just hoping that they do well, and then other companies go, wow, I want that too, and follow suit. Probably not gonna happen, but, you know. Now they should buy Halo back. from 343. Oh, man. No, honestly, I don't even want them to take Halo back. Because I just like marathons so much. New era. Maybe they could later, but like... Oh yeah, it's Halo Studios now. Yeah, there was a whole thing. But yeah, I just would love to see them focus super hard on Marathon. Get that going. I would like to see it do well. I would like it to make them buku bucks so Sony doesn't kill them in the middle of the night. Do people even still care about Halo? There are dudes that go to work. After work, they watch a streamer for a bit. Then they go to bed and, like, in that minute when they're about to drift off to sleep, but they're still a little lucid, they're just like, man, Halo 2 was so good. Those were the times. They close their eyes, they see the Xbox Live Blade style menu, and then they pass out. You know? There's a lot of those people out there. That and Fable. They close their eyes, they're like, chicken chaser. Oh, good times. Oh, hope the new one's good. And then they drift off to sleep. New Fable looks kind of cool. It does look kind of cool. It does look kind of cool. Fable's one of those games that was amazing at the time, and if you go back and play it now, it's kind of ass. Like, you can see the bones are good, but like it's just not. You know, don't play it. It doesn't hold up well. You know, keep it in your memory. But yeah, I think the new one, you know, looks like they're changing stuff so it holds up in a modern time, and I'm hoping it's good. I'm hoping it's good. I'll be praying. Anyway, we're about to play a game in 2 minutes, so I want to boot it up and make sure it doesn't like. I don't need to change any settings. You know that game King of Tokyo? It's a board game. It's a tabletop thing. That's what we're playing today. I'm gonna pause the BGM. That is what we are playing today. I actually have not played the tabletop version. I've seen it, but I haven't played it. Whoa. That's the game sounds, dude. Okay, resolution. Wow, the options are very lacking. Not in a bad way. Just ain't much going on with that. Oh, it sounds cool. Some of the art looks kind of cool. Okay, let me capture this. Hold on. Every time I click... Man, there ain't nothing I hate more than when I click off of a game and the audio from it stops and I don't have an option to change that. I would like an option to change that. Because as a streamer, I click off of the game often to like close the sound. Oh, click OK on that, blah, 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 you know? And then you can adjust it in so many games. And I hate it. I hate it. Alright, let me get this open. You know, we're playing today with who is it? It's not Chibli. I replaced him. I killed him. Me, Sinvicta, Kate, Dumdog, NL. And then Kate also asked if I could play something tomorrow, and I was like, yeah, I can. She was like, okay. It was me, her, NL, and then she was like, do you have a fourth? I need a fourth. I think she had some, but like, then they fell through, and I was like, okay. Tomato. And I put tomato in there. But as I'm doing it, I'm like, I'm gonna keep third wheeling them, dude. Okay, let me get into call.